Good morning, Crafty Katie here. I am bringing you another craft video that hopefully is a project you can do using things that you already have at home or that you can easily get from the internet, not having to leave your house. We're going to do this book flower vase that's been very popular when I've done it in my classes, so I thought it was probably a good one to do for a video. For this, all you need is a book, a hardback book. Any size will work, but pretty standard book size is good. And then you need, either you can use pages from the book to make your flowers, or you can use scrapbook paper is a good thing to use, or just colored paper, whatever you want. The sky is the limit. You probably could even use wrapping paper. As long as it's a little sturdier than like tissue paper, obviously. So you're going to need some sort of paper, some sort of fun paper. It doesn't have to be a print, it could be a solid. And you can use the pages from your book if you would like. And then you just need a book, and you're going to need a glue gun. I also, just for ease, use a cutter like this. To cut my squares, because it makes it a little easier, but you don't have to have something like that. Okay, so we're going to get started on this. The first thing you need to do, it doesn't really matter actually. If you want to start by making your book ready, you can, or you can make your flower petals first, that's fine too. For sake of argument, I will start with the book. So I just chose Reader's Digest book because we get these donated and they're hard to put into the collection. Most people want to read not a condensed version of the books that are included. So we use them for projects, we use them to make our Christmas tree during the holidays. So we have lots of use for these. So if you have one of these laying around the house, you can use it. Otherwise, pick any book you want. This one's already been started, so I'll take this one that hasn't. Some of these have really cool covers you can use, so that's cool too. You're not really going to see the cover much depending on how you display it. So you're going to want to find roughly halfway in the book, and if you want to figure that out page-wise, that's fine. I just do a visual because it doesn't matter that much to me. And you're going to be cutting about the top third of the pages from a group of pages in the middle of the book. So what you'll do is, I have a craft knife, you can use a pencil and scissors, whatever you'd like, and I just eyeball it. Again, if you want to measure it, that's totally up to you, but if you know me, you know that I don't really measure things. I just look at them and do it. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and take your craft knife or your scissors, and you're going to cut about a third of the page all the way to the spine and rip that out. So this section, let me get this. This section is about 3.5 inches roughly. That's probably plenty. And then you'll be using the bottom portion of these pages to make the vase portion of this project. So how many of these pages do you want to cut? I am going to start with about 25. It depends on how thick you want your vase to be. If you want it thicker, then do more. If you want thinner, obviously do less. The fuller the vase, the more flowers that you can fit into it. I'm going to just do one that's similar to this, maybe a little bigger, because I started with a smaller book. So just go ahead and continue to remove your pages. I know it feels wrong, doesn't it? I do it a lot, so it doesn't faze me anymore, but just cut these out here. Craft knife is probably the easiest way to do this. Okay. Alright. And if you rip a page, that's fine. The other thing that happens sometimes is when I did this one, I ripped the top of some of the pages. That's not going to be a problem because we're not going to see them. If it really bothers you, then take one out and just remove it. So, alright, so now I've got my book prepped. And I will go ahead and get started on the flowers. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the next thing you want to do is start to make your petals for your, I'm going to hold this against this so you can see it better. This is what your flower will look like when you're finished. So you make the petals one at a time and then you glue them together. I made, for this size flower, you want 4 by 4 squares. I also made this tiny little one and it's 3 by 3. The sky's the limit. It just has to be squares. And so I've cut some squares like this, but it's hard to see when I fold these because they're smaller. So I'm going to show you how to do this with this larger piece of paper. Okay. First thing you do is fold it diagonally in half. Like this. So we had this, now we have this. If you're using double-sided paper, it doesn't matter. If you're using one-sided paper, you want the white to be on the inside because you want the color to be the petal. Okay, the next thing you do is you take this corner and it comes up here. And then the same thing happens over here. Everything is a mirror. Everything we do on this side, we do the same thing on this side. Mirror image. Okay, so we had this, now we have this. Okay? Then we take this, and it comes, we fold it back. Here. So it was here. Now we folded it backwards and it matches up with this line. Same thing here. This crease is coming back. It's hard to do this backwards, but I've done these so many times I feel like I could do them in my sleep. Excuse me. All right. So now you have this kind of W shape happening. The next thing you're going to do is take this and you put your finger in there and you kind of open it up. And then you're flattening it. Like that. This is what it looks like from the back side. The same thing over here, you kind of stick your finger in this space here. You open that up. Okay? This is what this looks like. Okay. Now, you take these little flaps, they look like little ears, and you're going to fold them down between the two other pages. Alright. So this one is the same thing. I'll show it from this side. You just fold this down into the other piece of paper. This one does not want to stay. There we go. It's not folded down correctly. There we go. Alright. So then you'll have this. You can see you've got these two little flaps here. This is what it looks like from the back. It's plain. Okay? Last thing, you take and you fold this back up like that. You already have a fold there, so that should be pretty easy to do. Fold that side up too. So now you're back to a diamond shape like we started with. And then all you have to do is put a little bit of hot glue on one of these sides. Go ahead and do that real quick. And you take these two edges and they're going to meet. Those meet like that. And you kind of just pinch them together in the front. You don't want to crease the back of it, just the front. Alright, so that makes one of your petals. So one of these petals. This is what you've just made. So you'll do this 6 times for each flower, and then you'll come up with something that looks like this after you glue them together. I'll show you how to do that. Alright, let me get ready to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now that you have your petals, if you have 6, you can start putting them together. I started, let me get my piece of paper here. I started with 2. I started putting these together, and I'll show you how to continue making this. So you just are going to put a little bit of hot glue along the edge here, and then you're going to take this side of the petal. You want to I'm alternating patterns, and you're going to make it meet like that. Just kind of press those together. This is kind of hard to do. Alright, so you'll have that, and then you'll just continue. I use 2 different patterns, so like I said, I'm alternating those. Put another one on there. Okay, just working my way around here. So you could stop there with 5. That's what 5 looks like, but I'm going to add another one, make it 6. So I just put a little hot glue on both sides there. And I'm going to just press the last one in there to make 6 petal flower. So that's what that looks like when it's done. Alright, so now I have 3 flowers, which is where I'm going to start. And so I'll show you how to fold your book. So I've got my book. It is already cut, ready to be folded. There are 2 folds that you're going to do to make this vase here, down here. It's very, very easy. The first one, I'm just going to take the page and fold it in half, but you want to don't crease the end of it here. Just kind of fold it, tuck it into the middle of the book. So you have something that looks like this. That's the first fold, that's it. The second one, you're going to take the corner of the book and you're going to fold it up into the crease. It's easier to do if you lay your book down. Again, I just kind of lightly tapped that. I'm not going to make that a hard crease because it kind of loses the effect. Then you're just going to repeat the same 2 folds. So the next one is just we're folding it into the middle. And then we're going to fold the next one. This bottom edge of the book comes into the middle of the book. Okay, like that. Then the next one, we just fold it back in. Much easier to do laying down while the book is laying down. And see, this is one of those where the edge is a little wonky. You can either just tear it out, doesn't matter, it's not going to matter. But really, if you look at what's going on here, you're not really going to see it because the top edge is going to be covered with flowers. So I'm going to finish my folding and then I'll be back. Okay, so now you have your book folded. This was about 25 pages, I think, so that's a nice size for me. Again, if you want to make your vase larger, just fold more pages. It's pretty easy. So at this point, you should have your book ready and you should have your flowers done. So all you have to do is put them in the book, and how you do that is up to you. I typically just put a little bit of hot glue. Let me see. I kind of figure out how it's going to sit best on the pages, and then I put a little bit of hot glue on the bottom side of the flower and just kind of place it, and it should just kind of sit there, and then figure out where I want the other one to go, maybe next to it. Something like that, maybe. Okay, so just kind of press that one in there too. And then I usually put one kind of up here. Let's see how we can make that work. So I think I'm actually going to, let's move him for now. Actually going to just attach this one to the back of the book. So I'm just going to put some glue back here and just kind of stick it in there. Again, the placement of these flowers is up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. This is a little different than I've even done it in the past, so it's up to you completely. I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue on here just to make sure that stays connected there. You just kind of got to hold it till that hot glue gets dry enough that it kind of sets. I decided this time I had a little bit of scrap ribbon. I'm going to put a ribbon right here. You can kind of embellish these however you like. Just put this ribbon on there. So now I've got a little ribbon on there, which is cute. And I have also seen, although I didn't grab any, I have seen people put like little beads or sequins in the center, or like this one I have glitter because it was for Christmas, but you can, there's never a bad time for glitter. So you could do glitter, you could do sequins. I've seen pearls put in there. So again, the sky is kind of the limit on how you want to embellish your book, but that's how you do the basic book. I think that about covers it. So thank you again for doing a craft with me. It's been a lot of fun, and enjoy crafting from home until we get to craft again together. Bye!